Hi beautiful souls. So last week I did a little video and posted it on my Instagram account and also my Facebook account, just asking you guys to comment below your questions. And I said that in a few days I'll get them all together. I've wrote them all down here, so I've got them in front of me. Thank you everyone who's asked questions. I'm actually really happy that it's not a lot, which is great. So yeah, I'm gonna just go in with the questions. I will try my best to pronounce the names of the accounts. If I do get them wrong, I'm sorry, but I will tag in the description, I'll tag everyone's account who actually commented a question. And some of them are really, really good. Some of these questions are the questions that I get asked quite a lot of times, so this will be fantastic for future people who ask the same question. I can just sort of direct them to this video. So thank you. I want to just do a quick sort of shout out to everyone who's watching right now. I just want to say thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you to all sort of like my fans and my supporters, my buyers, my collectors, my investors. Also, it would be great if you feel that there's other artists out there that may benefit from some of these answers that I'm going to be given, and tips and tricks and things like that, then definitely tag them and do like, comment, share and save if you're watching it on Instagram as well, because that really does help you see more of my content. So yes, let's begin. So the first question we have is by Eric Mello _art on Instagram. So thank you for your question, Eric. So you've asked the tools, basically the tools I use in my artwork, the size and weight of my paper. So I have got my tools here. There's not really, there's a lot, but there's not compared to a lot of artists that I see when they post their tools. They have loads, so I've only got like a small amount. But I have over here got my paper that I use, which is Strathmoore Bristol vellum. This is obviously quite a big pad. It's sort of like an A2 size, but it's Bristol vellum surface. A lot of people, when it comes to realistic drawings, love to use smooth surface paper. I've used this for years, and I just love it. It's a really great paper, but I am thinking of maybe using a lot more, trying a lot more different papers, like recycled or more sort of eco-friendly papers. But I'm sure Strathmoore do certain pads. I'm just sort of working my way through the one I've bought at the minute. So this is 19 inches times 24 inches, and it's 270 grams GM squared. I'm not too sure about the weight, but I know you Eric pretty asked about the weight, so that is the weight of that. There we go. And I get it in a smaller pad. I also get, they do big sheets as well, and also rolls of paper. So that's the paper that I use. I tend to use the underneath, the opposite side of the paper. So when you open the pad from the front, I don't use that, I use the underneath bit of the paper, if that makes sense. So that's the tools I use, the tools I use in terms of the paper. The actual tools I use to create my artwork with, we'll go through it now. So first off, I do use a ruler to grid out, which I've not actually got that here, but I just use a normal ruler, even maybe a meter ruler, depending on the size of the artwork, and I do a light grid on the reference photo. If I'm scaling up, then I may do, on the small reference photo that I've printed out, I may do a grid of, say, 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre. So that's loads of little tiny squares on the reference, and then on the big piece I may go up to doing like 1 inch or 2 inches. So it's basically just making that bigger. And then once that's done, sometimes I like to go around, if there is a border on my paper, I like to put some masking tape. This just makes that really crisp edge, and also I like it to be sort of firmly stuck to my easel, my board. So masking tape you can get anywhere. I do use 2 sharpeners. I'll probably get into those in a bit actually when I go through the tools properly. In terms of what I use to draw with, that's about it really. Yeah, it's not a lot. I tend to use mechanical pencils, and one of them is labelled a B, so that's a B and 0.3 lead HB, and that is your 2B, and they're both 0.3, so very small. I don't know whether it's going to zoom in, but you can see that popping out And yeah, that's pretty much what I use to draw with. I use the B to do the outline, to do light sketching, that to go in with the second layer to give it a bit more of a deeper contrast. Then I go in with graphite powder, which is the Greta colour. I've had this for 5 years and it is still, let me be careful, it is still really full. So it's amazing. It's probably going to end up lasting me for my whole lifetime, I feel. But yeah, I have that and I blend it in with, I'll show you the blending tool separately. So graphite powder, and then I use 2 other additional tools like pencils to get those really dark areas in my drawing. A lot of people ask how do you get those black, sort of those really black tones in your drawing. The first one is a charcoal pencil, which I love, Conte of Paris. I know it's half like small, so you can't really see the full name, but Conte of Paris, Pierre Noire 3B. All the tools I'm using I will put in the description as well, so don't worry about that. This is amazing. I love this. A lot of people don't like this type of pen, this type of brand of pencil, but it's what works for you. Again, when I go through my blending tools, I'll combine how I blend that, because that's another thing. People don't know how to blend it. And whilst I'm on it, sharpeners, because I know a few artists who have bought this brand, you need to be very careful because sometimes the charcoal inside can crack. And it's really frustrating when you are sharpening and then it drops out again and you're like, and you end up having like a tiny little pencil left. So there's 2 sharpeners. I use the faber, is it faber or fiber castell, two-ended sort of sharpener. So there's a big one there and that sharpens this perfectly. You see that now? Let's see. I'm hoping it doesn't like break. If it does, I'm sorry. I'll try. No, it's pretty. It's sharp hair. So that's that I use for that. And it also invested in, it wasn't that expensive at all, in a mechanical, like an electrical pencil sharpener, which is pretty good as well, especially for the black coloured pencil. Now this is one that I recently started using from an incredible artist on Instagram. Arinzi, he uses this in his work and it is amazing for the really black details that you want to get up, and it's beautiful because it is extra soft, so you can blend it as well. It's amazing. So another incredible pencil that I use. So right, that is the pencils. I'm hoping this is really useful to, I'm guessing it will be to a lot of artists and a lot of people that follow my page. In terms of blending tools, I sort of use a different variety of blending tools. So I've got paper, toilet paper, kitchen roll, whichever. I think this is toilet paper. That's to do like the backgrounds and big large areas, which I'll dip into the graphite powder. I then will use a cotton bud, again dip that into the graphite powder, and that can just be for the little areas around the eyes, around the nose, around the lips. That's really good. So it's almost like your household items that I'm using. Also tortillions, I think that's how you pronounce them. I wasn't using tortillions for about 3 to 4 years into my artistic journey. I was actually using paper, but I was making it into a tortillion, so I'd fold it over and fold it over and make that like a point. Can you see that? And then I dip that into the graphite, but then tortillions are fantastic and they've got a smaller point for that detail. And then I've created this little handy thing. It is actually a cotton pad that I've just wrapped on the end of the tortillion in sellotape, and that's given a really smooth, almost like a contour effect, you know, that really like it gives a beautiful smooth effect on people's faces when I'm doing sort of more of a younger subject's face. So I really do like that. So that is my blending tools for the graphite. Blending tools for the charcoal are these. Most of the tools that I'm showing you, they can be found on Amazon, on art shops. A lot of my tools I just get from Amazon. But yeah, you can hopefully, all being well, you can find them somewhere on the internet. These are called colour shaper tools, and they're like a rubber. They've got like a rubber texture. And these are great for when so let me see if I can give you a little demo. Let me see, I've got a little bit of paper here, just so I can show you how it blends, because it is really cool. So I've got my charcoal there. I'm just going to rub that on there so you can see it's only a little tiny bit, but just for the fact of blending, you can blend with anything, everyone's different. But it just makes it so smooth. So literally this is what I use to blend with the graphite, and then, the charcoal, sorry, and then I can go in and buffet it with either a cotton pad or going over it with the greta colour, the soft colour, to make it more dark. So I always build up my drawings in layers. That's what makes them so realistic. So that is the blending tools. Let me see. Now for the erasers. I use 3 types of eraser. I probably maybe 4. Yeah, 4 types of eraser. So the first one is the Mono Zero, the Tombow Mono Zero eraser, which is amazing because it's like a really tiny eraser. Can you see? And that's fantastic for those white hairlines that you see, because people always asking me, how do you get those hairlines in? Sometimes I do draw around individual hairlines, and what you see is actually the white of the paper because I don't go over it. Other times, if I do go over the skin and it rubs out some of the graphite, but this is an incredible buy. Next is an electronic eraser, which is fantastic again for lifting graphite off, so sort of like for little highlights of the lips, highlights of the nose, the pores, also the eyes, the reflection of light in the eyes. And then I also, which is wonderful, the faber castell. I'm probably pronouncing most of these wrong, but I'm sorry. This is like a kneaded eraser, which is awesome. It looks like blue tack, but yeah, it's fantastic because it takes off the graphite in not as heavy as what a rubber does, so it just lightens areas. So if you've got sort of like I do, like the lines under the eyes, so you can just, where the graphite is, you can just dab and it just gently takes it off, instead of where a rubber you can see a definite line. It's just another kneaded eraser with you can do different techniques with, and I really do like this. And then the last one is just your average eraser. I probably had this for like 10 years, but this is just to clean up my work once I've finished, so the edges and things like that. So yeah, so they're my erasers. The next things are additional, and then I'm done, which are just these 2 brushes. I did see an artist, and I cannot remember his name, and he's an incredible hyper-realistic artist on Instagram. I will end up putting his name in the description, but he used the tool the other day and it looked fantastic, and I was like, oh my god, what's this tool? And it almost had like a brush, and he said it's a makeup brush. I was like, oh my god. So I use that not often. I don't even know what I use it for. Have I used it in my recent drawing? No, it's just in my little box that I have. Yeah, so you can do that for lighting and blending, put an extra graphite on. This is basically literally just to wipe off the rubber residue. So when you're rubbing work off and you get those little crumbly bits of rubber stick to your page, I just brush it off. That's literally what this little brush is for. You can get this probably anywhere. It's like a little fan brush, really soft. And that is all my tools. So that's that question. The third question, second question, sorry, is from Adam Shaw Artwork. So I'll put it, but Adam, and I sort of know Adam, he's a fantastic artist, and he's very, very creative and very kind soul. He's asked some incredible questions. So the first one was, how do you stay motivated and committed? Now this was an amazing question, so I wrote a few things down. So I said, so in my mind I was writing it down, I was saying, focus on the bigger picture, and why am I doing this? Who am I doing this for? Am I able and willing to do this? So for me, how I stay motivated is, it's more a case of why I'm doing it, why I'm doing what I'm doing. Is it for a bigger, is it for something bigger than me? Is it to create or to share a story, create impact? Things, it's getting, to me, it's more of an inspiration thing. I wake up and I'm driven to draw. I love to draw. It's who I am. And again, if I've got a deadline, so if it is a commission or if it's for an exhibition and it needs to be submitted by a certain time, that motivates me to get my work done. So yeah, motivated and committed. There's a question that you answered as well that sort of links in with that in a second. Committed, so I do the 15-minute rule, which is, I don't know whether it's a thing or I've made it up, but basically when the days where I don't really feel like drawing, I literally sit down and I say to myself, just do 15 minutes. That, when I do that, because I'm telling myself, I'm giving myself the decision, I'm gonna draw 15 minutes, I'm taking action, like 10 times out of 10, I actually go over the 15 minutes and then it's gone like an hour to 2 hours. As an artist who does very realistic work and I'm there for a long time, you know, spending a lot of hours, I make sure to have sort of micro mini breaks. So I may draw for about an hour and a half, and then I'll go away and have a 10-15 minute break. I may meditate, or, you know, go for a nice little walk or have a cup of tea, something just simple to break. If you're completely inspired and you just want to draw for hour and hour on end, then go for it. That is awesome. Mindset, so with the commitment and also with the bit of the motivational part as well, is mindset, personal growth and development, discipline, meditation, always look at my goal every day. So these are things that, as an artist, it's always, if you're wanting to take it seriously, I think it's so important and so vital if you really want to succeed in the art world and you really want to be able to live on doing your passion and sharing your work and creating work. It's important that you have the strength to do it mentally, to have the right mindset, to believe in yourself, because as an artist it can be really difficult to succeed and make it full time. So for me, I've spent 10 years on doing a lot of personal development, a lot of personal growth, a lot of self-help, to believe in myself, to really think, you know what, I can do this, I am able to do this, I am willing to get up every morning and think I want to create. This is really important. Meditation is fantastic for increasing discipline. I've always been quite good with discipline, but discipline is, don't think of it as a bad word, it is amazing. Most of the super successful people out there practice discipline every day. That's what makes them, you know, successful, because they know, okay, if I don't do that and do this, I'm gonna get these results. So for me, with meditation, to be able to sit there and not move or speak or open my eyes for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, that then overflows that discipline and focus and clarity that I have in my meditation sessions, which I do every morning. That then overflows in other areas of my life. So it means that I can actually focus and be a lot more clear and a lot more sort of, you know, a lot more just, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say, on my work basically. So it's practice and discipline. Definitely, if you have problems with that and you struggle, try and figure out what your why is. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to be an artist? Why do you want to do it full time? Do you really want to do it? And that's the thing, there's a difference between wanting it and just thinking, oh yeah, it's great, I'd like to do it, but there's a massive gap between the knowing and the doing. You know, it's the action. You know, you've got to keep going every day. And the thing is, when you start doing this, it does get easier, it becomes a habit, and that's the thing, you want it to become a habit. And yeah, always look at my goal every day. So I have a goal, what I want to achieve in my life, who I want to inspire, how I want to, you know, see how I want to portray myself to the world, and, you know, and be as sort of authentic and transparent as possible, to share all of my journey, the good, the bad and the ugly, you know, to really be able to connect and relate with people. But yeah, I look at my goal every morning and every day. I write that out every morning and every day, and that seems to keep me focused. It definitely keeps me motivated, definitely keeps me committed. So hopefully that's answered your first question, Adam. Your second question were, what are some of the things you wish you knew when you started drawing and before you become active on social media? So another good question. One of the answers to that would be that hard work, consistency, persistence and resilience to bounce back from failures and disappointments well outweigh talent. Now this is huge, because I know, and probably if you're watching this, you probably know so many talented people at all different areas, you know, singing and cooking and all, but they don't do anything. You know, they're still working 9 till 5 in a not so great job, and they don't really like it, but they've got an incredible talent. Now, if they're not willing to be disciplined, if they're not willing to put the hours in, to work extra hard and to do the hustle and the grind, and to take the right actions and be around the right people, then you're not going to get anywhere really. You know, it's so true. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you've not got that consistency or that resilience or that hard work or that willpower, or you know, it's going to go to waste. And you know, I see this a lot of time. People have incredible talent but don't really do anything, or don't know how to do anything. That's why I'm a big advocate of personal development, because that I think it's just a gold mine of information. And when you start digging deep into yourself, it empowers you, and it really makes you want to live to your full potential. And you see the world differently. You see the world so differently when you start to go within. So, and also about what did you say there? Oh yeah, also, so going back to that question, yeah, things you wish you knew when you started drawing and before you become active on social media. So that you don't always need a gallery behind you to succeed as an artist. So these are things that I wish. I've been drawing now for, you know, 8-9 years. Pretty much the past 1 or 2 years, it's pretty much gone like more of a professional, like I can do this, you know, I'm winning awards, I'm getting out there, you know, there's certain publications that want to feature me, and things are moving, and I'm getting around the right clients and the right audience, which is fantastic. But at the same time, you don't always need a gallery. I always thought you needed a gallery to be successful. I always thought that, and I remember, and I don't know whether a few people that have followed me since day one on Instagram will know that when I had my exhibition in New York and I got, you know, represented with a gold gallery, and it did obviously cost, before that I actually submitted an email to about, I think it was about like 20 galleries, like in the UK, in the US, and some of them got back, some of them didn't. Some of them got back and said, your work's great, but it's not what we're looking for. And it's like, okay. But at the time, that's when I was saying bit about the resilience. The quicker you can get over disappointment and failure, the quicker you can get onto success. And that is it. It's bouncing back from those letdowns and those like, oh, I've not done it. It's having that resilience. And that's where, again, the personal development, books and self-help, if you want to grow, you've got to be learning more about yourself. Otherwise you stay stagnant, you stay stuck, and you disintegrate. You're not growing, you know what I mean, if you're not developing yourself. So yeah, you don't need a gallery. You just need to know the right people. You need to start doing your research and educating yourself on, okay, how can I make little steps to create quantum leaps? And that's what's happened with me. Also to that answer, also to that question, it's all about connection, building relationships, and getting in front of the right audience. Now this is key, because I was so lost. 7 to 7 years, I had quite a big following. I think it was like over 25, 30, 40,000 people, and everyone was like, oh, she's made it. And it's like, yeah, but I may have gone like a whole year without making one sale. And that's the truth. Like even a few years, I may have actually made 1 or 2 sales, and they may have been commission drawings, you know. And I've had part-time jobs on and off to sort of make up and to pay the bills. And people always look at it and think, oh, you know, her work's amazing and she's got a large following, but that doesn't bring the money in. What brings the money in is knowing your target market, knowing your audience, knowing how to advertise yourself well, knowing like how to promote yourself and get into the right audience. And I'm literally only doing this, it's been probably the past 6 months. Yeah, so I'm still learning, because as creatives, as artists, we sometimes don't have that business mentality, that business savvy attitude of, okay, like the numbers and the figures and the PR and the optimization of websites, and I haven't got a clue about that. I just know I can draw well, and I just really want people to, you know, like my work, like my story, invest in my work, you know, and share my work. That's what I was doing. I was drawing and I was like, oh, lovely, you know, and this is lovely, but I was thinking, okay, I'm drawing and I'm enjoying it, and people are saying my work's fantastic and it's great, and you know, you should be getting paid millions. And it was like, I'm not bringing any money in at all. So what am I doing wrong? And that was because I didn't know the right people, the connections, the audience. So really delve into that as well. Social media aspect to that question, Adam, it's not about the number of followers and likes, especially when it comes to making sales as an artist, I've found. So basically what I've just said, I had a large following, and I still have a large following, and I still don't get nowhere near as many sales as people may think, you know, and I'm honest about that. Hopefully things are going to change, because, you know, I'm connecting with the right people now, but it's not always about the followers and the likes. It's not always about that to succeed. You know, I know a lot of people who have got 2,000 to 3,000 followers, and they are CEOs of companies, they are, you know, multimillionaires. Yeah, they've had TEDx talks, and yeah, and they're incredible people, and they've only got like 2,000 to 3,000 followers. So it's not about the followers. And what's another thing I wish I knew when I started drawing and before coming active on social media? To ignore the odd random comments that say mean things about your work or who troll. Just ignore. They are a few grains of sand on a strip of beach. You will find the right tribe. You'll attract the right people to you if you stay consistent and true to who you are. And that is so true. I feel like that's a quote. I feel like I've just created a quote of mine. But yeah, ignore them. Ignore them. I'm very grateful and very lucky. I've not really attracted that much. In my earlier days I did. When I first started, people used to say my artwork's like fake, or it's a photo, or it's not art, and that really got me. I remember crying, and it really got me, and you know, and that was just me and my self-esteem. And now it's like, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You know, there's art out there that looks like a 2-year-old child's done it, and it's going for like 50 to 100 million, you know, dollars or pounds. And yeah, so it's all an opinion really. And I don't give it energy. Never give it energy, because all you're doing is you're going down to their vibration, you're going down to their energy level. You don't need that in your life. You don't need that. You just go, yeah, okay, yeah, interesting, okay, next, and then that's it. Sometimes if I get a message like that, or even DM, I either delete it or completely ignore it. Or sometimes I may just say thank you, have a nice day, and that's it. So that is your questions Adam asked. I hope that's okay. And we have another question from Insta. There's only 2 more, so this is the last second to last. Natalia 3. I'm sorry again, I probably pronounced your name wrong, but how many hours does it take to draw A2 size? I think I did comment this, answer this on the comment as well. It depends. It all depends. I have a few artists asking about time, and I used to always have a stopwatch, and sometimes I have it on, sometimes I don't. It's on average an A4 drawing, which I'm going to end up stopping doing that soon. The A4 size, I'm only going to be doing A3 and above. But A4 size drawings tend to take me anywhere from 24 hours to 50 hours, and I can do that in about a week to 2 weeks. And as an artist, I don't spend 8 to 10 hours a day on drawing. It's very rare, unless I've got a really deadline, but it's very rare. I'll spend maybe 4 hours, and then some days I'll spend 6, some days I'll spend 2, some days I will spend 8. Yeah, so it's all quite, yeah, as an artist, I draw every day, but it's not for long periods of time. So on average, an A4 drawing will take about 1 to 2 weeks. An A3 drawing, 2 weeks after an A3 drawing in. I've even done an A3 drawing in a week. It all depends on the subject and the detail. If it's like one subject, if it's like one dog, you know, that I could do that in a week, even if it is A3, even if it is big. If it's like 3 or 4 people in the same photo, or like a few animals, it may take longer because the detail. And I always take longer on the eyes. If you mess up the eyes, then you mess up the whole face. You know, you've got to really capture their essence and their soul in their eyes. And an A2, like getting back to your exact question, how many hours is an A2 size? Again, I tend to say, you know, it can take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. Again, it all depends on the detail. Right now, I'll probably say it takes me 4 weeks. It's hard to try and put it in hours. I'm putting it in weeks now. If weeks just seems easy for me. Hours, I don't know. I've did a drawing that's taken, I think, the most maybe 300-400 hours, but that was an A1 size. I think it was probably a lot more than 400 hours. Some of them can take about 100 hours, 200 hours. But yeah, I don't really time, so it's more of a week thing for me. Hopefully that's helped. And then we've got our last question from Miles Twier on Facebook. How do you achieve drawing such more deep detail in your works? So I use layers, patience, and taking your time, really observing your subject matter or reference photo, and really looking at the detail in a lot of, you know, really looking into the detail of the subject you're drawing. Adding black charcoal was a game changer. and the black pencil, for really giving my artwork that depth and realism. So yeah, just going a bit more into detail about that. So with me, I do a lot of layering. That's what gives the texture. I know a lot of people are quite fascinated with some of the skin textures that I've been able to create. It's layering. I'll start off with the B pencil first, and then I'll blend, and then I'll rub out little details, and then I'll go in with the 2B, and then I'll blend, and it gets darker and darker. Then I'll go in with the charcoal, and then I'll blend, and then, you know, and then I'll lighten it up with the kneaded eraser or the electrical. Then the final layer tends to be the black greta pencil, the soft pencil, wherever I need to go and wherever it needs a bit more depth and contrast and whatnot. So I'll go in with that. And yeah, that's how I get it. Expect tutorials and tips videos this year for sure. Definitely, I will be doing some of these this year, definitely. Because I'm being getting asked a lot of people, and I may not be, so I may have people watching this who are sort of artists who have, you know, studied in school and university, and I may be wording things wrongly because I've not been to art school or art college, or I taught myself. You know, and I think I read maybe one still life book like years ago, and I've actually still got it. But I taught myself through constant practice, and that's the thing that if you're consistent at your craft, your trade, you are gonna perfect it, and you are gonna, you know, it's gonna become sort of, you're gonna become so good at what you do and you're gonna become an authority figure if you can stick at one thing and perfect it for years. You really will. It's sticking at it. And I always go back to the personal development, because even though I'm telling you all of this, you may think, oh wow, this is really good what Samantha's saying, I'm going to go away and do this. But you may find yourself in a few days, the motivation fizzles, the inspiration fizzles, and you're like, oh no, but she can do it, I can't. And that is to do with the personal development. You need to change the paradigms, the programs in your mind. And once you start changing them, you'll start to get that motivation, you'll start to believe in yourself a bit better, you'll start to actively put in the time and the effort every day. And you'll notice as you change, the outside world changes. So yeah, hopefully that's answered everyone's questions. I've tried to keep it within half hour. I think I've obviously gone over a little bit. Thank you again so much for everyone who commented their question. I hope my answer has helped. Please comment below if it has, and if you've enjoyed me doing it via like a video like way instead of just a message, because, you know, I think sometimes it's better to connect and to see the real person when it's on video. I'm hoping if you think it was good, then let me know, put a thumbs up or a love heart or comment it was good. If you feel that maybe a live would be better, then let me know, because I can definitely do that, a Q&A live on both on Instagram and Facebook. I know I do have a lot more followers on Instagram than I do Facebook. And also, if you are, which some of you may be, some of you may not, there is a new app called Clubhouse, which is a fantastic sort of a voice, it's mainly just voice app. You can't post on there or comment, but you're in like these rooms and these stages where I can talk, and that would be great for if there is any artist, because we can get in a room and then we can ask, you can get on the stage and we can actually talk as if we're having a conversation over the phone. It's pretty cool. So yeah, let me know if you want to do that, and if you are on Clubhouse, then we can, you know, make that happen and connect. But yeah, hopefully that's helped. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you for liking and commenting and sharing and just being incredible sort of like followers of my platforms. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, lots of love, believe in yourself, keep on practicing your craft daily, and yeah, and until next time, I'm just wishing you so much love. Stay blessed. Bye.